Hey everybody, I am Judah. This is my brother Reuben.
Hello.
We did Angel's Landing together.
Yes.
And we decided that we were gonna go super early.
Oh yeah.
Before the shuttles even started.
Oh, that's right.
We weren't the only ones. We get there and the parking lot is filling up.
Mm-hmm.
And there was in the dark. And there's a line starting for the first shuttle. And we're all just standing there in this queue waiting for the shuttles to start.
Yep.
And so we were in one of the first, group of shuttles to start going up to Angel's Landing. But like most other trails, the trailhead isn't right there at the bus stop.
Good Lord, no.
No, you have to walk to the trailhead. Would you like to give your thoughts on the walk to the trailhead?
Yes, the honorees to Willie and his wonderful wiggles. Now, we know what switchbacks are, most people do. A general gradient going up the mountains to make it a little less steep. There was very little less steep on these wiggles here. These are just zigzags, almost up a sheer cliff face. And we're talking about, it was probably an incline of something like that, the whole way up. And there was how many wiggles? 32?
I don't know, man. 30 is stupid.
32, possible, maybe more. Maybe there were 60. There was something, it was an obscene number. It wasn't 2 wiggles. It was wiggle. It wiggled. It wiggled up. And we have Willie to thank for that. Maybe they cut costs. They said, we'd have 120 wiggles if we don't make them like this. So they went steep and they went long.
Yeah, they did. We started off trekking together, and Sue and Catrice went as well, my dad, and we're making it up. At some point, it's tiring. I'm not patting myself on the back. They were taking rest, and I just wanted to get it done.
Oh, you booked.
So I just kept going, and I made it up maybe ahead of them, maybe a half an hour.
Half an hour, I'd say,
before they did. And I've mentioned in other videos, well, the night before, first of all, stepmom Sue, I love her. She was frustrating me so much the night before because she was trying her darndest to get us to not do Angel's Landing based off of things that she had been reading about the dangers and people dying and so forth. And if she couldn't convince us not to go, she for sure was going to stop my dad from going. And he was like, Sue, this is like a bucket list. This is like, I got to do this kind of thing. And she kept pushing and she kept pushing. And I try to, keep my cool. I'm not a perfect person by any means. Reuben can attest to that. I try to keep my cool. And when I lose it, it still probably isn't as intense as other people, potentially. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's always seemed mild,
but
mannered.
I just was like, Sue, you are really pissing me off right now.
Oh, wow.
And at that time, saying that word was pretty intense of itself, letting her know that she was frustrating me so much. And I was like, would you just stop? We're going to do this. I came here to do this trail, and I'm doing this trail. And, that kind of shut it down, and she was just like, okay, kind of a thing. And I've mentioned in other videos that Sue brought up how she read the people who do long distance hiking. She was talking about the breathing, but she was also like, do small steps.
They have
small steps, little steps. And this is where that first got introduced, the little steps. And in my head, I'm just like, shut up, Sue. I'll hike how I want to, But when we got to the wiggles, and it was kicking my ass, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And literally, that's the only way I made it up. I did rest one time. But literally, the only way I made it up was just doing small steps and not stopping, just keeping it going and not worrying about, I got to do this fast. It was just taking small steps and letting it take as long as it needed without stopping. And that's how I made it up. So thanks, Sue, despite annoying the hell out of me. I appreciate it, and I've used that in many more trips since then. So you make it up to the top, and and you're not done. There was a group that was brought up there. They had a leader. It was obviously they had paid some kind of an outpost place to take them up this tour, and it was another Asian tour led by white guys from America or whatever, and they were gathering everybody up to get ready. They weren't going to do Angel's Landing. They were just like, okay, well, there it is. There's Angel's Landing, and they weren't going to go any further. He was saying the names of everybody in the group, and one of the Asian guys was going by his English name. Do you remember what his name was?
No, I don't.
It wasn't. It was regular, but not like stupid regular. It wasn't like Bob. It was something like Greg or something like that. And so he said, "Hey, Greg, can you go get so and so or whatever?" And he left, and he came back, and Reuben just latched on to this, and we're like reclined.
Oh yeah, we're chilling.
waiting for more people from our group to get up there, and so this Greg comes back. And everyone's like, "Hey, Greg." And the guy turns and looks at Reuben. And he's just like, "Way to go, man." And he just kind of smiled and was like, "Okay." And then like slowly distanced himself from us. And that was just so funny to me. It was so funny to me. I make it up there. I'm all the way up to the end of Angel's Landing, and I was glad that we went early because I didn't have to deal with a lot of crowds, and so I felt less pressure that I could take more time because I was freaked out, and so it wasn't fun to me. I was just doing it and trying not to die. And there's some people that are just like running this thing. Yeah. They're just whipping through like gazelles, mountain goats, no fear whatsoever. Just going past you, making it up, and while you're still trying to make your way there, they're just like, I saw it, and they're just running back down. They make it up there. We asked somebody to take a photo, which I'm grateful for, but she didn't really, it was basically just, this up with just the background. So there's really no sense of we made it to the top. We could just stand anywhere and take a photo the way we did, and I'd be like, yeah, it's the top of Angel's Landing, because there was no kind of concept of where we were at. So me, Reuben, my dad, and Gabby, we all made it to the top of Angel's Landing.
It's 4. Ooh.
And that is a memory I will not forget. Again, I don't think I'd ever revisit Angel's Landing, especially, maybe if I could start right there, I might try it.
But Wiggles.
The Wiggles are not. Why don't you, I heard this is the story I heard last night that he shared. There's a first about the Swedish guys.
I believe it's Swedish, could have been Swiss. My memory's a bit vague on that. So me and my dad are walking out there together, and this Angel's Landing is it's pretty steep drop-offs on a lot of it. And this group of young, blonde, tall men kind of move past us, and we hear this word being tossed around towards each other: slitta, 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 slitta. And Dad's like, "Oh, slitta, I wonder what that means." And I laugh because of this Tom Robbins book where the character, I can't think of his name, his name is Switters, not Slitta. It's Fierce Invalids Home from Hot Climates. But this character, the CIA agent, knows the word for pussy and in 27 different languages. And he refers to his favorite one being the Swedish or the Swiss, which is slitta. So I regaled my father with this story, which is funny to even be talking about that, the nomenclature for that female part with the father for any reason. And then we realized that they were all calling each other pussies. And that was their Swiss or Swedish motivation to keep on going.
Again, it's an experience. I am glad that I did it. Something that I didn't mention when we were talking about our Acadia trip is when we got done doing the Precipice Trail, which my conclusion was so much more fun than Angel's Landing. We ran into an older couple who were asking us about our experience on the precipice. And they said, well, we heard Angel's Landing is better. And to me, it felt interesting to be part of that group of people that was able to be like, oh yeah, I'm part of this group. I've done Angel's Landing. I can actually have an intelligent response to these people, both Reuben and I. And it just felt really interesting to know that we were part of the national, parks crowd. That we were part of those people that, that's their thing. They love doing the national parks and be able to run into somebody and just throw out a trail name and know that you knew what the other person was talking about and be able to respond about it.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That's good. Yeah.
It was fun. I want to go back to Utah
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Do Bryce or
Okay.
what is it?
Bryce,
Arches.
is that a canyon?
Yeah.
Bryce Canyon. Okay.
Or
Arches.
Arches, and I think there's two more. I think they call it the Big Five.
Okay.
So I'd love to go back and do the other ones because we flew into Nevada. The plan was to leave super early on our last day. We would head back into Nevada, and we would do several things in there. Like I wanted to go to the Valley of Fire really bad. I wanted to do some. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I love doing kitschy things. Something that's very just like tourist trappy. It's very silly, but for some reason I really get a kick out of it. So we did some things in Las Vegas. We did stop at the Valley of Fire, but there was a heat index warning.
Oh crap! Yeah, that's right.
I don't think you didn't.
I made it in, and as I drove in, I saw you guys driving out. So
Okay.
I took the first turn
And went back
and
out.
just followed you guys to Vegas.
So I was super bummed because we weren't able to do much in the Valley of Fire, not because of the heat index, because my dad and I were willing to, attempt it. We were like, we'll just take water, we'll be safe, no big deal. What had happened is when we were in Utah, getting ready to go, Sue had given Reuben some stuff for him to take on his trip.
Box, you put food items inside of my food box.
And gave it to him.
Yep.
He leaves. So we're packed, me, Trace, and Gabby, and we're just sitting there waiting for those two to get things together. And then it's finally time to leave. And lo and behold, the keys to the vehicle we had rented is missing. And we're tearing this house apart trying to find these keys. She's like, I don't know, maybe I locked the keys in the vehicle. So we have to wait for a locksmith to come.
Oh crap, really? I didn't realize that.
He opens up the vehicle for us. Of course, that's extra,
$200.
fee that we have to take care of. We get in there, we're looking everywhere. No, the keys aren't in there. And then she's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I gave them to Reuben. We call Reuben, and he's like, nah, there's no way. No. He's like, I'm looking it back. No, they're not there. I don't know. Did you stop? It does.
Eventually, I did. I feel like I did stop, and I was like, I'll look in the food because you did. And sure enough, under some like loaf of bread or maybe it was a bag of cheese because she's notorious for cheese bags, and there they were sitting at the bottom of my food box.
So dude's got to turn back around and bring the keys to us. So frustrating. Several hours just destroyed.
Yeah.
Just sitting there, and I am fuming inside.
Oh man!
Because I wanted to do more stuff in Nevada. So again, we had to cut things super short in the Valley of Fire, but we do get some really cool photos there. I enjoyed the little time that I had there. Like I said, I wish I had more time. We did go then into Las Vegas. So we found a place to go play putt-putt, which this is also kind of where this tradition of playing putt-putt on our trips started. And we went to a, Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone, blacklight, putt-putt.
A Twilight Zone themed. And there's also in the back of this Twilight Zone, they did themed weddings.
A little chapel.
Like Star Wars and sci-fi stuff.
Yep.
And my sister always has this great memory. She loves this place because they were playing like oldies. And when I say oldies, I mean like 50s, 40s stuff.
50s.
Not oldies where you would say, 80s.
Yeah.
But, and it was a good time. And we had fun, and we got some photos there. Me and Reuben were kissing this devil at the end.
That's right, yep.
And this lady worker there was like really intent on making us have a group photo that captured the essence, the whole place in there. It made me laugh because she just would not let us get away without taking a photo to her vision. It was very hilarious.
She was adamant.
And so we succumbed, and we were just like, okay, this is what she wants us to do. Let's just do it. So we took that photo, and it was all good. And then I was looking through things to do there, and there was some kind of like a monster museum.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one.
They
Yep.
had, you know, it was like a wax museum, but specifically for monsters from movies and so forth. And in my head, I'm just like, this is it. This is for me. I love this
Yeah.
idea. I want to go and do this. We went. It was quite a disappointment.
It
I'm
was
not gonna lie.
massive.
Because I also then learned that these things in there were not from. They weren't from the actual movies.
Yeah, we
That's what
thought
I was
decommissioned
thinking.
monsters. Yep.
But no, they were like tributes
Yep.
to.
Yep.
So that was when I learned that. It was pretty lame. They did have one legitimate from Gremlins 2. It was the gremlin that had the spider legs. And it was really in bad, you know.
Bad repair.
Yeah, for sure.
Chuck and Sue, though, seemed to love it. I remember all of us being done and them still in there just reading every single plaque. Because I think it took them a good extra 40 minutes to finish.
It's possible.
Oh.
This is also, I've mentioned before, which generally each year I'll get a photo book made and give it to the people who went on the trip. This, my dad and I, along with Gabby, went to do, we drove and I just saw something off in the distance and I was just like, stop. We have to go start walking out there, which we did. And then my dad was off a bit and I yelled to my dad, it's like, act natural.
This is his natural
Yeah,
pose.
I said, I want to get a photo and I said, act natural. And he said, like this. And he like does this model pose, like laying down on the ground. He looks legit. He's a handsome
natural.
dude, and it just
when you're that handsome, that's natural.
It's very funny. And I got this book made, and when I went to pick it up, the guy who had put the book together, he's like, I don't know, man, that guy laying down in that photo, he's like, that's pretty great. He's like, that was good. And I was like, oh yeah, my dad. I was like, yeah, that was pretty great. And so from then on, since now that, you know, he's passed, it's kind of an honor and also a joke to, at least in one photo on that trip, somebody do a laying down kind of like a model pose thing. It's good fun.
Oh.
I definitely, looking at these old photos, I'm like, dude, I wish that I was that weight again. And we also went to I think it's called the Neon Museum.
Yes, something like that.
Where they have all the decommissioned signs from like the casinos and stuff.
Yeah. The neon sign place it was cool to see Dad's enthusiasm because he just loves that kind of stuff. I didn't realize I was wearing my shirt so wide open in those days. So going low button. Must have been proud of the meager chest hair coming in.
That's it. That was back in 2019.
Woo! 1911.
I wish we could get those days back.
Oh, holy crap, man! Me too.
I wish I could get that weight back, dude. Look at that. It's like I have a chin and a half there, whereas here I have like, wow.
Oh.
Wow. You got to do something about that, brother. Anyway, not you, brother, but you, brother.
All right, let me see what I can do.
Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe. We have started planning just today.
Woo!
We're looking at dates. We're going to probably the first week of September. We're going to head out to Yellowstone. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. And if you're into horror movies, please go to Rumble. Like and subscribe our Creepin' It Real channel. That is CreepinItreel. I'll put a link in the description. I appreciate it. Love you. See you guys.